Hey friends, welcome to GemmaDarling Daily. I'm your host Danielle. I'm GemmaDarlings on Instagram and GemmaDarling on Ravelry. And if you're new here, welcome! I'm really excited to have you here. And if you're still here after all these years, I really do appreciate you coming by to talk yarn and politics. For those of you that are new, I do rant politically at the end of the podcast, so you can avoid it if you want to. I will give you fair warning. Anyway, I have one of my Mrs. Roper muumuus on today. This dress is by Millie, and I love Millie dresses, but these sleeves are a little bit crazy. It's just, I usually do cut the sleeves off things, and I don't know, I just feel like I can't. When it hits a certain price point, I feel like I can't cut the sleeves off. But so I don't know, it's new, so maybe it'll relax a little bit, but I kind of feel like I have wings. So just go with it. I hope it doesn't distract you. I just dyed my hair, I cut my bangs, so of course I'm going to be touching my hair and everything the entire time. Get over it. We'll get to some good yarn. I am going to start by saying that I may go to the New Jersey Sheep and Wool this next weekend. If I do go, which I don't know if I'm definitely going, but if I do go, it's going to be on the Sunday. Still not big into crowds, and Sunday's a lot less people than Saturday, and so you're welcome to come up and say hi if I do go. Please don't expect me to give any hugs. We're into, elbows, fist bumps, high fives, cool, anything that I can Purell away. I am not ready for hugs. Very sorry about that. I wish I could hug everyone. I miss everyone so much, but I'm not there yet. Anyway, this week in 2 days, Franny is starting first grade in our town school, which is right up the street, and we live in a neighborhood that has so many kids. It's so nice that there's always kids running around or biking or this and that, and so she knows a lot of the kids that are going to be in her class already, and they kind of start from the far end of the neighborhood in the morning, and you'll hear it around 8 o'clock where everyone starts to walk to school, and they kind of just collect people as they go. So I'm really excited for her to start first grade. I myself inside totally losing it. Totally. But I signed her up for tennis lessons through the town, which was very strange and bittersweet for me because my father, who I just lost last October, loved tennis. Tennis was the sound of summer in my house. And so all of a sudden she just comes out and is like, I want to play tennis. And I'm like, what is going on? This is so strange. All of a sudden out of nowhere she wants to play tennis. I'm all for it. So I bought us rackets. I'm going to totally get us those cute little skirts and everything. And, so she has tennis after school, 1 day a week. And I signed Sammy and I up for a movement class. It's mommy and me movement. And she'll probably be like, come on, mom. And I'll be like, I'm going to be very popular in that class. And then she wants to take karate and pottery. There's actually an art museum right by us, the Montclair Art Museum, and they teach kids art classes, so I'm trying to find an art class for her. I want to take a pottery class there. Hello. So might be a good place for me to teach knitting when I get back into it. That's actually a good idea. Light bulb just went on. Okay. So last podcast, which actually wasn't that long ago. I mean, don't give me shit about it. It wasn't that long ago. I forgot to show you guys a lot of stuff. So we're going to start with that. And where did I put it? Seriously, I am having a conniption. Does anyone know what that is, or did my dad just make up that word? I can't pull this table out. I can't get to this stuff. Just give me a second. Okay, crinkle alert. Crinkle alert. If you don't like crinkles, here, I need to cut my hair just a little more. If you don't like crinkles, steer clear. Okay, here we go. So a couple, maybe a month or two ago, I saw on Instagram Moon Glow Yarn Co. And they had this Harry Styles kind of watermelon sugar collection. And I was like, so I got this. Look at this. It's Moon Glow. Can you hear me? Moon Glow Merino DK. So I got one set of these colors. It's a gradient, obviously, that looks like watermelon. Then you just take black and you can put the pits in the red if you want to. The sock collection came with the black, I think. And then I also got a half skein set. So these are 50-gram skeins. Let's see. Yeah, these are 50 gram skeins. I guess she only had the stickers for the 100 gram. These are 50 gram. These are 100 gram. And I was like, I really want to make Franny like this gradient scarf with a hood. And I thought I would make it in this, like the moon. So these are all the colors, the 6 colors. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. And I love the gradient. It's Moon Glow Yarn Co. See? And so that's what the crinkle is all about. These are for Franny. And I'm kind of trying to make her like cardigans and scarves and things that she can take to school, but I'm not going to use really elaborate patterns because I want to knit them quick and she's probably going to lose them or ruin them. So, but I really like this yarn. I'm going to probably use the 100 gram skeins and save the 50s, but I don't know if I needed extra. I had it and I didn't have to buy a whole other kit. So what was really great about Moon Glow Yarn Co. was that she offered the gradient set in so many different weights, I believe, and so many different skeins, because sometimes we don't want a 100 gram skein. And so I was able to buy 50 gram skeins, which I really, really like. That was great. So there you go. Moon Glow Yarn Co. I know I usually start off with whips, and I saw, this is like, I'm Mrs. Ropering hard today. Then I got this. I don't remember if I showed this to you or not. I got a sweater quantity from Magpie. Magpie Fibers. This color is on their Swinky DK. It's called Tupelo Extra. I'm going to take one out. They have a Tupelo honey color, which I don't know if she's discontinued it or not, but I loved this color. It's like glazed pecan on crack. So I thought this would be really, really pretty for something. I don't know if I'm right, but I do find her DK to be a little thin, kind of more of like a sport weight, like in between a sport and a DK. So I'm going to make something that calls for like a sport weight. And I found this cocoon shawl that I really want to make, but it's really intricate, so I won't be starting that for a while. But once a year, she has a 20% off sale. I think it was 20% off. And so I grabbed a sweater quantity. It's a great time to grab sweater quantities because her stuff is expensive, and rightfully so. All right, so let's show what I've been working on. I have this really, really big bag that I kind of take around the house because I'm nuts like that. I take my yarn around the house with me. I should just leave different projects in different locations, but I'm always afraid the cat's going to puke on it. So I take it around with me. All right, so this is my Brainiac. I take this, it's like a sweat bag, you know, S-W-E-T. Do you guys know what a sweat bag is? S-W-E-T. Am I holding it upside down? Yep, totally. Sorry. Sweat bag. Sweat. And I like to think they're waterproof. I think they're like sand and windproof and all that. So I was taking this to the pool, and whenever I wanted to take a project with me, which was really a great idea. It was great. I didn't get it yucky at all. So I've been working on my persistence shawl. I have a lot more in it now. So we started with this. Those were the original 5 hedgehog colors that I had bought like when I first started knitting. I bought these and I was like, I need to find something to make with these. Let's turn it this way. So what I did, for those of you that are new, I would take one color and then find a yarn that color was in. So this green was in this pink, and this pink was in this cream, and this brown was in this cream, and this brown was in this color. And so I kept going like that. Like there's rust in this, so I did rust next. There's orange in this, so I did orange next. Turquoise, light blue. You know, like I just kept going like that. So it's actually getting pretty long. I try to do like a speckle and then a tonal and then a speckle and a tonal. And so it's just kind of getting like really, really long now. Like, right? Look. So right now we're on this, which is some hedgehog. And again, like I hated their sock yarn. I hated it. It was just real splitty and I just didn't like it. Holding it double, it's a dream. Like I love it held double. So it's kind of like a DK or like a sport weight because it's very thin, but when you hold it together, it's beautiful and it feels so nice and there's still a texture. So if you have any hedgehog sock yarn and you're just not happy with it, hold it double. You will love it. It's beautiful. I was thinking about getting like a sweater quantity and holding it double and doing a DK or a sport weight sweater with it because I like it that much. So you can see it really looks nice held double. And this is also at the beginning, all of this that I started with, this is hedgehog sock yarn held double. I mean, look at that. It's really pretty. It's very, very pretty. So I really am loving it. I'm using a lot of I'm using some minis. This skein, look how fluorescent this is. Look how, it's just so fluorescent. I love it. And then this was Backyard Fiber Works, and they are since defunct, and I'm so upset about it because I really, really love a lot of the colors that they did. I think the pandemic just brought a lot of fiber companies down. It's so sad to me. I hope some of them bounce back as we get out of this. But look at this. It's looking like really cool, right? So I'm excited. Let's see if we can put this around my neck. I think it's a little big now. I think I can stop at any time. I'm still connected to yarn. I probably should have thought about that. So it'll just be like this with like all these bazillion weird colors. See? And I have some pinks and browns to go into. So just something to throw on. And it's nice to use like the minis and the things that we get for all of these advents, guys. I don't even know how many advents I bought. I don't remember. I just don't remember. And I'll see one and I'll go, oh my God, did I order that? And I have to look in my email and go, oh yeah, you did. You ordered that one. I've got like Sweet Skein of mine, I think. Fashion School Dropout. I don't know. I don't know. I think I ordered about 10. Don't tell my husband. Oh my God. All right. So Vlogmas is going to be interesting. Anyway, that is my, oh shit. I felt it. My ring just pulled something. No! Okay. I'll find it. No, ring. You evil little ring. I love my ring. I love it. It's a bow. One of you wrote me and said that you knew it was from QVC, and I was laughing, and I told my mom, I said, Mom, one of my viewers said that she knew this ring, and it was from QVC in like 91. And she goes, that sounds spot on, because she would buy stuff for my, she and my grandmother. She would always buy the same stuff, and I remember taking this ring. I loved this ring. I took it like a couple years ago. Because I think it's an 8, and I think it was too big for her. But my middle finger is an 8, and now, like, after I had the babies, I became, like, my joints are all really loose, and they swell really badly, so I can't wear a lot of my wedding rings because they get stuck on, and my engagement ring is an antique, and if I pull at it, it could really break it. So I can't really wear it in the summer, so I just wear this all the time. I like gold better anyway. And so one of you said that it was from QVC, and my mother's like, that's spot on, because we were like obsessed with QVC around the early 90s. It's true. I remember that. I would watch it and I'd go, Mom, can I get this from QVC? And she didn't care what it was. She would buy it because she loved QVC. I also bought some yarn from Machete Shop. This is called Karma. I bought it on 2 bases. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. So I may put that in my scarf somewhere. And then I bought it on 2 bases because sometimes I like see stuff and I like to make a hat out of it. So I bought this in the DK also. I don't care what you say. The Brittany from Machete Shop is the speckle queen. She is queen of speckles. She's amazing. I absolutely love her as a person. She's studying to be, she's studying sociology. She wants to be a social worker, and she's going to stop dyeing yarn in the coming years. And I'm like dying. I am dying. So I'm just going to start buying like crazy sweater quantities from her. And so I bought those 2, and she always sends me a present because she's just that nice, and I really love her. And she sent me this one randomly, and isn't it exquisite? It's called Moon and Manifest. And you know I love all things moon. So, look at that. Amazing. It's exquisite. I love it. So then I ordered some marinated yarn. That's really my only whip. I have some other things I'm starting, so we're going to go into that. This podcast's all over the place. Just sit back, relax, drink your tea. You're good. All right. So I ordered these skeins from Marinated. I ordered 2 and then I ordered the 3rd one and they match perfectly. It's like this gorgeous chocolate brown. It's called Mud Pie, appropriate. So, but it's really like, look at, there's so many tones in it. It's beautiful. So that is Marinated Yarns. So pretty. This is the Playtime worsted, and I love the worsted. It's really very fluffy. It's 218 yards per 100 grams. And Franny wants a cardigan to like leave in her backpack at school in case, you know, she wears something. I can imagine me sending her to school in like a sweatshirt and she's like, I'm too hot. So I took the sweatshirt off and I put my cardigan on. Like she's totally like an old soul like that. And it's this is what we're going to make. It's a tin can knits pattern. I didn't print the first page, so I'm trying to, let's see. It's called the Harvest Cardigan by Tin Can Knits. I believe it was a free pattern. I could be wrong, but I think it was a free pattern. This is the best picture there is of it. It's a tiny little cardigan for a little person. Now they make it in all different sizes because if you know Tin Can Knits, they're very inclusive. And they make this, let's see, I don't know if I have this in here, what sizes they have. I don't remember. Yeah, if you look, this pattern goes up to a 6XL. And a 6XL is a 68-inch circumference. So it goes down to a newborn to that. I mean, you can't even get better than that, right? It's like all of these sizes, all of them. See? And then it gives you the schematic of like what is what. And their patterns are incredibly, incredibly well thought out and written. And so I'm going to do that for Franny. And I think I'm going to do that soon because then she'll have it for school. But this is a teaching pattern. So in the pattern, I believe there are companion videos. They have all sorts of drawings for different stages of it. It's really, really great. So if you have not knit a sweater and you're kind of like nervous to do it, definitely go to a Tin Can Knits pattern because they really do walk you through it. I'm trying to see if it says, this is from the Simple Collection. It says Simple Collection on it. So I don't know exactly where the videos are, if there are any. I didn't read through it just yet. But I thought it was a really cute cardigan for Franny to throw on while she's at school. Yeah. So I'm excited about it. So that I'm making for her with this studio. This is I'm just all over the place. This is the Playtime Worsted by Marinated. And so the dark brown, because a lot of Franny's clothes are like rainbow. It looks like a unicorn like threw up in her closet. And no shame in that. When you're 6 years old, a unicorn should look like it threw up in your closet. So I thought that this brown sweater would go over everything because she very rarely wears like black and grays. Everything is just really like really bright. I do buy her boys' clothes also. So a lot of it's blue. Because, do you ever notice the girl stuff is all like, oh, let's frolic through the woods. Here's some flowers. Oh, there's a bunny rabbit. And the guys' stuff is all like, oh my God, planets are so cool. Science, science, science. And I'm like, my kid is really good at all that stuff. So if I have to buy boys' clothes so she can have a solar system shirt, I'm doing it. Sorry. I mean, why don't they just make everything for everyone? I don't understand this whole like separating it as if women are not supposed to be good at science. Like, move over, we're coming. Jeez. So anyway, she's getting that little old lady cardigan. A couple months ago, one of her friends from the neighborhood, she lives 2 doors down, this little girl named Allison, she's adorable. She came to our door just randomly and she said, do you want to be in my club? Franny was like, Mommy, can I be in her club? I was like, sure, you can be in her club. So now they're trying to think of a name. All the girls in the 1st grade are going to be in this club. I don't even know if they haven't talked about it in a while, so maybe they forgot about it. But I kept going, you guys should call yourself the Golden Girls. Just subliminally trying to put a little bit of good pop culture into their lives. Before I forget, I want to tell you something I'm really excited about, and that is the fact that we are starting a daisy troop for the girls in the 1st grade in her school. Me and two or three other moms, and I'm going to be a troop leader. And can I just tell you how excited I am? Like, I'm a co-leader. There's like the woman running it, and then there's 2 of us, and then the woman who's just going to step in if she can. I'm so excited. I'm more excited than the girls are. I'm so excited. I was a Girl Scout when I was little. I loved it. I remember my troop did not wear the uniform, and I was so upset. So one Christmas, my mom bought me the uniform, and I was so mad that I like yelled at her. I was like, oh, I have to return this. No one else is wearing the uniform. And my mom was so upset because she thought she did something great for me. She was so excited. She got me a Girl Scout uniform, and I was so upset because my troop didn't wear them. So I am going to have the troop leader ensemble. I'm going to be full-on Phyllis Neffler from Troop Beverly Hills. Like, full-on. Beverly Hills, what a thrill. It's going to be me. Yeah. So, stay tuned for that. I think you can buy Girl Scout fabric and make stuff. I'm going to make myself like a Mrs. Roper caftan out of it. With like a cape so I can just flip it over my shoulders like Phyllis Neffler. And if you don't know who Phyllis Neffler is, can you please go look her up? Troop Beverly Hills is like the best movie. It is the best movie. And my sister and I rarely agree on anything besides politics and pop culture from our childhood. And Troop Beverly Hills is like right up there with American Anthem, Annie, and what was the other one that we always watched? I don't remember. The Sound of Music? We did watch The Sound of Music a lot. We watched it a lot. My great aunt one Easter came and got us the double VHS. And we never stopped playing it. Mom, like, you know, like we didn't know what was going on, why they had to flee, but hey, they were singing and we were happy. Okay, next project. Okay, so there is this sweater that I am dying to make. Just dying. And if I could find my phone, and guys, why am I so disorganized? This is bad. Where is it? I brought it up here. Here it is. It fell. It fell. That was not my fault, right? It fell. Okay. So I'm going to pull it up on, I use Rabbit. Let's see. And it's in my notebook. It's called the Veronica cardigan. Okay. It's the Veronica cardigan here. And you see it? It's just like a real big like robe kind of. Really cool. So I want something like with a big, like, what do they call those? Shawl collars that I can throw on over things. And I think it is absolutely beautiful. Look at this. I don't know if you guys watch The Grocery Girls, but I believe that Tracy made this about 5 years ago. It's not a new pattern. It's called Veronica. It's by Very Shannon. Knits for the modern knitter and sewer. And it's just, I'm so excited. This is the back of it. How cool is that? It's so, so cool. So I'm going to be starting that. It calls for, I believe, a worsted. Let's see. I can't find it when I need it. Okay, so sometimes when you go into a pattern, these people have used like 1,000 different skeins of yarn held together and you don't know what weight it is. So I've been trying to figure out what weight it is. I think it's a worsted. It says that the first one that they use is worsted. Yeah, it says worsted. So I had a bunch of this Farmer's Daughter fibers in their colorway Paul Newman, and it's really pretty, right? It's what do they call this? Like a tweed, okay? But it's this really beautiful, like gray with these brown neps in it. That's what they're called, right? Neps. So I have a bunch of this, and I was like, this is DK, and I need worsted. So I don't even care if it's spot on. I bought a bunch of her sock yarn in the same colorway. It's a little bit darker, but it's still that very, very cool flat gray. I really, really love. Like the Farmer's Daughter fiber is really great here. So it's colorway Paul Newman. So this one's like 400 yards to 100 grams or 438. And this one's a regular like 230, which is your basic DK. So together, I figured that they would really knit up together nicely as a worsted, and I figure I'll just swatch it and see how it comes out. But they are different colors. Like you can see, it's the same color, but they look different. So I thought it would really give the ribbing in that sweater like a really cool depth to it. You'd be able to see a lot of the texture. They are literally the same colorway though. That's how different the yarns take it. I love this color in DK. I probably wouldn't have bought it in this color, but because it's very dark. But I usually like the way fingering yarn takes the dye better than DK. So I feel like I'm going to start making a lot of stuff with fingering weight held double and triple. But I had this already. I had a bunch of skeins of this. I bought like, I don't know if I bought it like a bunch of weeks, I don't know, like a couple months ago. So I bought 2 more skeins. She's pretty consistent dyer. I can buy the 2 skeins and they'll match the older skeins. I'll just, you know, alternate. But I'm going to hold it with these. So I bought a bunch of these. And I'm going to hold them together, and I'm going to make that big ribbed sweater. So I think that'll look cool. So I'm going to bring you guys, I'll bring you a swatch of it next time. I'm going to try to start podcasting every 2 weeks. I don't know if I'll have enough to talk about, though, because I'm not that fast of a knitter. So I don't know. I was also thinking of doing more vlogs, because I'm watching a lot of vlogs on YouTube, and they just look like fun way to like document your life, right? So anyway, so this is going to be the Veronica cardigan. I have a bag of that. And this is in my Starlight Knitting Society bag, which I love. I think I got that at Vogue. Maybe Vogue 2020. Or I might have ordered it, because I did order some stuff. They have Olan. But Olan's not making the old colors that I like anymore. I'm kind of bummed about that. So I have a lot of like things that I'm wanting to cast on, which is kind of... It's ambitious, but I really hate casting on. Like, I like when things are in progress and I can just pick them up and keep knitting. I hate pairing my yarns. I just don't like it. Why is this sticking out? What is wrong with my hair? Okay, it's time for it's time for a fluff. A fluff. Okay. Let's keep going. Did you give yourself a fluff? Give yourself a fluff. Okay, so the next sweater that I want to cast on is called the Wavy Gravy sweater. I know, it sounds right up my like alley with like my Mrs. Roper wear and like my love for the Partridge Family and VW buses, and yeah, it's all there. I never print out the first page of a pattern because it wastes all my ink. So I'm just going to show you the little pictures that are inside. This is a pattern by Caitlin Turowski. I think I'm not sure if I said it right. I'm so sorry if I didn't. I don't have my glasses on. It's very, very small. So I think I said it right. Turowski. So it's a chevron sweater. I believe it's in worsted. Is it worsted? It might be. Let's see what I got. No, DK. It's in DK. But it's really cool. It's like very 70s. See, my printer started to like run out of ink. You can see over here. But it's very 70s. I have a really cool pair of bell bottoms waiting for it. I may need to print it out again. She has some charts in here. See, like, it's basically just chevrons. But it's 5 colors. I usually have my 4 colors that I love. You know, my brown, glazed pecan, pink, and cream. So I had to figure out something else to put in there because I needed 5 colors. So I'll show you in a second. This is just a really, really cool chevron pattern. I think it's great. It's knit from the bottom up, which I haven't done a bottom up sweater in a really, really long time. So that's going to be something new for me. And you knit the sleeves concurrently, and then you put them all together and knit in the round for the yoke. So that's fine, right? It's just kind of like knitting backwards for what I usually do. So it'll be interesting. I like new things. Otherwise the knitting becomes monotonous. The only thing that's kind of scaring me are all of these big checklists that she has, like the raglans and everything. So I'm kind of going to have to do some research on that. I can't really see them very well. There's a lot of these patterns. I don't know if it's written. Let's see. This is the checklist. So I believe it's in the written pattern, and this is just where I would check off that I did that. But I mean, it's so tiny. I can't even like read it. So I need to either print that out on my big printer over here. I have this really big printer that prints 11 by 17, so I may do something like that. I think it's in the written pattern, but these pages are scaring me. I'll be honest, they're scaring me. So I'm probably just gonna, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm a good knitter. I have to give myself a little bit of credit. I'm a good knitter. I am. I don't do enough things that challenge myself because I do like to kind of watch TV while I'm doing it. And sometimes I don't really want to think, but I'm a good knitter. So I should be able to figure it out, right? And I have no problem just writing her if there's a problem. But I really think it's a cool pattern. Again, with like all the chevrons. I wish I had printed it out in color so you could see it, but go on to Rabbit or Ravelry. It's the Wavy Gravy sweater, and I'm going to do it in all these different colors, like my basic palette. I was interviewing some brown yarns for it, and I finally settled upon Hedgehog Fibers in Damned Nation, because it has like a slight gold to it. I really liked that. And that's just going to go into my, let's see, my glazed pecan. So we'll hold it like this. And that glazed pecan is going to go into this, which is called Lai, L-A-I, from Mad Tosh. And then we're going to go into a light pink, which I haven't received yet. That's coming from Beehive Yarns. And then it's going to go into a cream. So it's going to be kind of like this, with the pink right here, like a light pink. So I'm excited. I love it. I love it. What's really weird is that I don't wear much brown, but I did just find a pair of really nice mom jeans that don't look like mom jeans. And I have these really cool cognac, like loafer kind of shoes that are made out of suede that really don't fit me. But since they're such a malleable shoe that my big toe just kind of makes point. I'm fine with it. And then I bought this really cute Tory Burch bag it was on sale, and it's cute, so I figured that'll go across me. And it's like a cognac color too. I love cognac colors, which is basically my glazed pecan. So remember when camel was really in and everyone was wearing camel? Camel looked like trash on me. It looked so bad. But once I found the cognacs and the glazed pecans, they're totally great, and they go with pink so beautifully. And this might be the Brio Duo of the week. Seriously, guys, I want to slap myself sometimes. So this is Tosh DK, and it's glazed pecan and L-A-I, Lai. I hope I'm saying that right. But isn't that pretty? Yes. And then, of course, I mean, this could be an old school one, but anything on this hand goes with anything in this hand. That's what's great. Let's just randomly do it. Totally Brio Duo. Total Brio Duo. Total Brio Duo. Brio Trio. Brio Trio. Napolitan. I like Neapolitan ice cream. Everything I do is Neapolitan ice cream. Remember I bought all that Mad Tosh to make that cardigan? You know, I actually should use that and do the version of Franny's cardigan in my size with that. That's a good idea, Dan. Okay, well that'll just be another cast on. So I'm casting on these projects. 1, 2, 3. 3 is good because it's like 2 sweaters and a kid sweater. The other one that I was talking about before, the Veronica sweater with all the ribs, that one is kind of, the construction's really cool because I think you knit it all flat. You start with a sleeve, you increase and it becomes the body, and then you end with a sleeve and the whole thing is folded over and cinched. I think that's how it's knit. So I think that'll be great. The repeat is like 3 rows of knit and then 1 row of purl. So I can't really complain with that. That's going to be simple. And since it's worsted, it should go pretty fast. And then I can use my Wavy Gravy sweater as something that I like concentrate on. But excuse me, since I've been knitting chevrons for a really long time in my persistence shawl, I don't think I should have any problems with them. I don't know, I've been using so much blue lately. It's kind of blah over here. It goes from some like It's really, really loud. Like I love this together. These 3 colors. Love it. Love it. Love it. If she still made this, I would be buying a sweater quantity of it. It kind of glows. Like these 2 colors, they glow. But this gold, there is a Mad Tosh gold color that is really, really beautiful. So that's it so far. That's actually it. That's all I had to show you. I know. It was pretty quick. I am going to start vlogging. I have a lot of footage from the garden this summer. I grew these really tall sunflowers. Yesterday, I sat there with one of the heads of the sunflowers and pulled all the seeds out of it, which was really cool. You kind of just break it in half and you just kind of go like this, like, you know, making it rain. And it was all sunflower seeds and I saved them for next year. My pumpkin patch is growing. I just bought this gate from Amazon, which comes in panels. And the panels go together like this. And then you drive a stake down the holes. And the stake goes into the ground. That's what holds it up. It's excellent. It really is excellent. If anyone wants the link to that, like just write me. I'll send it to you. It's such a good gate. And you can reuse it. So when I'm done with the pumpkin patch, I'm going to build a greenhouse in that spot next year. And so my neighbor's a woodworker and I keep going, we're going to build a greenhouse next year, right? And he's like, yeah, totally. I'm like, okay. But I was on Pinterest and I saw this beautiful greenhouse and I'm like, can you just cut the wood for me? Like I'll climb up there and hammer it together. Like I'll figure it out. They're really, really nice. So he'll probably help me. We'll see. Otherwise I'll just cut my fingers off trying. So a couple things that I've been liking lately. Before I go into information about the D-stash, I wanted to tell you that I keep my yarn up here in plastic. It's in the attic. This is a finished attic. We don't have any bugs up here. I literally never see any bugs up here. And I'm very vigilant about that if we see bugs, but I don't like to use chemicals in my house. So sometimes, like, we'll spray on the outside of the house, but sometimes the bugs that are like already, you know, like ants, they're like in your walls and stuff. They start coming in and I hate that. But usually they end up in this one little spot in my dining room. But since we have the dog and the cat, I don't like to put those traps out. And I don't like to spray the floor with like chemicals, like Raid and things. So what I kind of do is I kind of try to drive them back. Just drive them in without any food. So hopefully they'll just die. And you know, ants, they're inevitable. I think they're in every house around here because my house was built in 1937. And there's probably cracks in the foundation here and there. You know, little ones that allow, an ant is like minuscule. So it's nothing near any of my craft. So if you're buying from my D-stash, please know the stuff goes from a plastic bag straight into another plastic bag. It's never sitting out. I never sell anything that's half used that's been sitting in any of my bags. But truthfully, I've never had a problem with like moths or anything. We had some ants in the kitchen last week and it was driving me up the wall because my neighbor gave me these ant traps and it's fine. They're great. She has them too, and the ants, and it works great. But because Pooper's so old and sometimes he like eats his food off the floor and the cat is always like licking herself and this and that, I don't want to use any chemicals. So I had this stuff from, I did a shopping at Whole Foods right before the pandemic started, and I grabbed these when Franny was a baby because they are plant-based all-purpose cleaners that actually clean. And instead of your house smelling like Clorox, where you know you're being asphyxiated, your house smells like peppermint or lemon or orange or lavender. Like it's most of it is essential oils. And it's called Absolute Green. I'm not being like sponsored or anything. I just wanted to tell you about this product that I love. And it literally says on it, it's ammonia, phosphates, phthalates, sulfates, toxic fumes, synthetic fragrances, dyes and coloring, petroleum-derived ingredients, all free from all of that shit that makes everyone sick. It's plant-based, it's 100% natural, and it's kid and pet friendly. So I clean my kitchen with this stuff, and it does. It removes the grease. It makes everything smell delicious. I mean, obviously, if you have like a shower with caked on like molds and stuff, you need... I use some Clorox in my shower, right? If it's been a while since I just keep forgetting to like, oh, that grout really looks like it's had it. I spray Tilex, you know, obviously. But in the girls' bathtub, I'm not going to spray that shit because they have to sit in the tub in the water. I'm not going to spray stuff that could hurt them and their lady parts. So I use this stuff. This, again, Absolute Green. There's an absolutegreen.com, I believe. I just ordered like a shit ton of it. It smells delicious. It's peppermint essential oil. And I'm not trying to sell it to you. I just want you guys to know, like, we sprayed this where the ants were. I doused it. And the ants hated it. They hated it. I could spray them on the ants. It will kill the ants, which I know is really, really inhumane. But I don't want ants near my food. I'm sorry. I think that's a very bad thing. So I sprayed that. And I ordered like a ton of it. And I have a new freight. They have a new orange one. Gigi, they have orange. And it can't hurt Gunner. I have a bottle for you if you want it. They also have air freshener. So this is the peppermint air freshener. It's air freshener and aromatherapy. Oh. And I sprayed that right over my cup. That's great. But you can, it's literally, they say it cannot hurt you if you use this near food. Obviously don't spray it on your food. It is not food, but if you spray this somewhere like where you're cooking and this and that, it's not going to hurt you like if you know, if you're using really harsh chemicals. And so I got that. I got a lemon air freshener. That smells good. Oh, I love it. And I got Andy a ginger spice one because he really likes ginger. And let's face it, he's working in my attic now. And sometimes I come up here and it smells like boy. So I don't know if it's like, you know, old tube socks, whatever. Nice. Oh my God, that's good. For you PSL fans, this. That smells good. And I had the lemon or orange, I don't remember. I also bought a linen freshener. Because, you know, sometimes if one of the animals has an accident, like I literally clean it with antibacterial dish soap and I run hot water through my rugs. They're throw rugs, right? And I put one of the pee-pee pads underneath it, like to catch all of it. And I run hot water constantly, like through it until it's all clean. But then it just never smells fresh again. So I got one of these to freshen up my linens and things. And again, it's just Absolute Green. And it's not bad for the environment. And I'm really trying very hard not to hurt the environment. I have 2 little kids who are going to have to live on this planet for hopefully close to 100 years. And I don't want them to get sick. I bought them Planet boxes for their lunchbox, which are little stainless steel lunch boxes that come with magnets on them. They're adorable. I got Franny the big one and she was trying to carry it. She's like, this is so heavy. Like she had her Yeti in one hand and that, and it was just like 5 pounds of metal. And I'm like, I can't send her to school like this. So I got her the little one. Her teacher's going to give them a snack in the morning before lunch. So she'll never get too hungry. She'll be eating like every 2 hours. So that's good. Anyway, I just been trying. I'm trying. There's a lot of plant-based plastic wraps. There's a lot of plant-based plastic bags. You don't have to buy the Ziploc bags anymore. And I don't feel as guilty throwing these things away. There's garbage bags. There's all sorts of things. Franny's snack from school is going in a brown paper bag. And then one of the plant-based Ziploc bags. And then we use stasher bags like crazy in this house. You know, a lot of stuff comes right out of the plastic when we buy it. And I hate buying food in plastic. I really do. We do as much as we can to go to like farmers markets and things, but it's inevitable. You have to buy, like meat has to come in plastic. Otherwise it will not keep. But we take it right out. I wrap it in parchment and it goes in a stasher bag. And, you know, stasher bags are really, really great. They come in all different sizes. You just squeeze the air out, roll them up, and I stick them on the top shelf of my dishwasher. And they're great. So I really hope that you guys will join me in trying to be a little bit more eco-friendly. You know, instead of using water bottles, get yourself a filtration system. We have a Berkey filter. It's amazing. We have the filter that's in our kitchen sink. We have a separate spigot that has a, you know, it's filtered water. Just stop buying plastic. It's really awful. It's awful. I mean, like even these, there's a little bit of plastic on it. The refills, I don't know, they come without these tops on them, I think. This is metal. So, you know, we're just really trying. We're trying our best because the planet is not getting any better. Pakistan is half underwater right now. There are monsoons and typhoons and the polar ice caps are melting. There is drought. I mean, this summer was so hot and dry. My plants are just starting to grow. I'm just starting to get cucumbers. My strawberry plants are just starting to bloom. It was such an oppressive heat this summer that, like, even my mother, when we went to the pool, she just jumped in and she can't even swim. But it's bad, and it's global warming, and it's climate change, and I don't think that my, not using a water bottle is going to change it, but if we all do it, maybe we can slow it down just a little bit. So I'm hoping that we can. So I hope you'll join me on that. I guess that's it. That was a pretty short podcast, guys. I wish I had more to talk to you about. I guess we'll just rant about politics. So those of you that are not into it, you can drop off here. It was really nice seeing you guys, and I will see you soon. And for those of you that want to stay, I don't really have it in me to do a huge rant right now. I'm just starting to support all of the people running against the evil people. So that's what, I don't live in Texas, but Beto O'Rourke is an amazing guy. He needs to beat Governor Abbott. He just needs to. So in your state or any states adjacent or anything that you hear on the news, donate to people that are not in your state. Donate to the people in your state, but donate to the campaigns out of your state. We've sent money to Stacey Abrams. She has to win. Raphael Warnock has to win. These people have to win. And I'm really sorry if some of you are disappointed in Biden being the president. I understand he's not perfect. That I'll say. No president is perfect. But he has been kicking some ass lately. He's gotten some stuff passed that's really great. And it's not the be-all, end-all. It's the first step. He's knocking down the brick wall that the GOP has put up. And he's really, really doing some great things. And I'm giving him a lot of Dark Brandon power. Sending you Dark Brandon power. Is that the most asinine thing you've ever heard? Let's go, Brandon. It's the most asinine thing. So I see these memes of him with the lasers in his eyes. It's like, he went full on Dark Brandon today. And I'm like, you go, Biden. You go. They call him Sleepy Joe, but I don't know. He doesn't really seem to be sleeping because he's getting a lot of shit done. So, some people are really upset about the college loans. I was very lucky. My father was a college professor. When he told one of his colleagues that my mom was pregnant with me, the colleague said, start saving for college now. And he did. And my father never really spent a penny on himself. He very rarely did. So, my parents didn't have fancy cars, whatever. My mom drove a Buick when I was younger. My father had a Dodge Intrepid. The thing, never worked. It was awful, but he commuted to the city for work, so it didn't really matter, and he would just stuff our college funds. And luckily, my sister and I were able to go to college without any debt. And, I never had to think about that. And until now, I'm watching people that really are just drowning from it. It was so obscene how much my college cost a year. And some of my friends went there for mass comm degrees. I got a mass comm degree. One of my friends was a sociology major. A couple of my friends were sociology majors. I don't think I would have gone to such an expensive school for sociology nowadays if I had to foot the bill for it, because you don't get jobs out of the gate that are comparable to paying for everything you need to pay for and this loan, and they want you to pay it back the day you graduate. My sister went to law school, and she paid for law school herself, and the minute she graduated, they sent her, the bill, start paying us back now. And she's like, I don't even have a job yet, I'm clerking. It wasn't even and so I really do feel for these people that are trying to elevate themselves by seeking out higher education. And I don't like the prices. I think it's insane. So if the prices were all going to the professors, I would understand it, but they are not. They are not. So the fact that he knocked off $10,000 to $20,000 of debt is just, it's great. It's great. My sister's a lawyer. Obviously, lawyers do well. She's very good with her money and this and that. But the bill for your for a loan could be $500 to $1,000 a month extra. How do you pay to live and then have that as some extra money every month that you're generating to send to a loan? It's suffocating. And I do feel that state schools should be free, and I feel we should offer a type of college in our society now that is tuition free and is just, you're an entity of the state. And I do think that people that want to go to Harvard and this and that, a lot of them get scholarships, but people that want to buy Gucci, you got to pay for Gucci. So if you get out of Harvard and you're making a lot of money, yes, you have to pay your loan back yourself. But for people, we need people to go into sociology and become social workers. Like, we need people to become teachers. We need people in professions that are really noble, that don't make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, even though I think they should. They don't. And so people foster, like shouldering all that debt, it's just too difficult to survive. It is, especially since I live in Jersey, like about 20 miles outside the Lincoln Tunnel. I remember when I moved home I lived in the city with one of my friends, and then we got older. I was like 30, 32 or something, and she wanted to live with her boyfriend. So I was like, okay, I'll just move home for a little while. I moved in with my parents because... And, you know, at that age, I didn't want to live with my parents, even though I'm glad I had those extra years living with my dad and all that fun. They're great. My parents are so much fun. But, yeah, I would have gotten my own apartment if I could have afforded it. I remember back then, I was making about $2,200 or $2,300 a month. I was working for an incredibly big name in the city. They didn't pay well at all. But you had, like, no vacation days, so I couldn't really just go off and interview in other places without getting docked pay. And how do you get docked pay? Like, it was an hourly, you know, like you can't get docked pay to go to an interview that you may not get, and then your paycheck is smaller, and then you can't afford your apartment. Like, the whole thing is it's a trickle down, you know? So I hardly ever looked for another job, I was always looking for another job, but I hardly ever could, like, go to interviews, like, on Wednesday at, like, 11 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't clock out at that time. So it was really difficult. And, living in the city, I wasn't living beyond my means, but I wasn't saving much. So when I got home, it was like, I can't really afford an apartment on my own out here because the prices here, I was sharing an apartment in the city, like here, they're the same prices as Midtown. It was like an apartment back then was like $2,000-$3,000 a month just for one person. That's what I was making. Like, I couldn't afford it. So I lived with my parents. And, I didn't hate it, but it's not what you want to do. And I can't imagine, like, people that have to foot the bill, like, live on their own and then foot the bill for school on top of that. So I do feel like it was a really great move to erase debt. And I do hope that we move to a more free education in society because, let's face it, the people that Donald Trump wanted to vote for him, the people he was trying to appeal to, he literally said at the beginning of his campaign, he didn't like educated people. He liked people that thought school was stupid because they believed everything he was saying. So I feel like our way forward with democracy and just being compassionate to your neighbor and caring about others is an educated society. And that doesn't necessarily mean college. I think a lot of people get really, really great high school educations. There are some towns around here that have such excellent high schools that if you graduate from high school and you go into a profession, you're still a well-educated human being. But it means we need to put more money into public education. I don't think that the money a school has to burn in public school should depend on the taxes of that town. If it's a low-income town, the school is not going to have a lot of money. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair. I really think that federally, all schools should get the same amount of money. That's just how I feel. And I understand, like, I live in a town where the parents are going to help the teachers buy stuff for the classroom, and we're going to pay for the extracurriculars. We're going to do that stuff. But that's on us. I think every kid that goes to public school in this country should get the same education, and they should learn about things that are not pretty about our past, because how else do we dive into a future unless we know what happened, what was wrong? So that's one thing. I always say if I won the lottery, that's one thing I would do. Or if I ever if something, were to change in my situation, I were able to really volunteer and give money out. That's what I would do. I would do public schools because an educated populate is one that understands the government, makes the government work for them. So that's my political rant. I could go into what happened at Mar-a-Lago. I could go into the classified document envelopes that were empty. I'm pretty sure someone's selling documents, but I don't have any proof for that. Bill Maher does this segment sometimes on his show where he says, I I don't exactly know what it's called, but it's basically like, I have no proof for that. I just know it's true. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that those folders are empty because they've been giving secrets out to people that are our enemies. And it scares me. It does. What scares me even more is that there are people that think this man is worth re-electing. The other day he said he should be reinstated. We don't reinstate people in this country. You have to win an election. We don't instate people. I mean, Hillary should have been reinstated as president in 2016 when they found out there was Russian collusion in the election. Don't you think? I mean, shouldn't that have been like, okay, this guy, this was not a legitimate election. Let's have another election and, you know? But I hate saying that because I feel like I sound just like them when I say that the election was rigged or the election was illegitimate. But, I mean, like, the Justice Department had proof. So, anyway. Okay? Did that fill you guys up for the next couple weeks? All right. All right, I'm going to say goodbye here. I do have some vlogs that I'm going to be releasing, and I'm going to start vlogging pretty regularly, so I hope you will come along on a ride with me for that. Follow along on Instagram, and please follow GemmaDarling Dstash. I believe it might be next week, whenever I can get it, in the next week or two. I'm going to do a huge Dstash, and I have a lot of good stuff. So I really hope that you will tune in on GemmaDarling Dstash, and I will definitely be advertising for it as the days move towards it. I will definitely be advertising on my GemmaDarlings account on Instagram. So thank you guys so much for coming along with me today. I have missed you. I'm so happy to see everyone. I love all your comments and really a lot of heartfelt comments that you guys have been giving me over like losing my dad, and I'm so sorry for all of you that have lost ones that you love. I'm sure we all have, and we all know how it feels. It just feels so weird to be moving forward without him, because there are days where I'm just like, oh, I have to tell my dad. This is hysterical. Oh my God, I have to tell my dad. He'll just love this. And I can't. And it breaks me. It just breaks me in two. Everyone goes to sleep in this house. You know, my husband and I go to sleep pretty late, but the girls go to sleep around 9 o'clock. And once he goes up with the dog, he'll just take the dog and he'll go, I'm going to sleep, good night. And I'm sitting downstairs all alone. I lose it. Like every night, I just lose it. And so, I don't know. I think you all know how I feel, and I just appreciate you showing up for me repeatedly. All right, guys. I will see you hopefully in a couple weeks with a D-Stash, and maybe pretty soon with some vlogs and another podcast. So thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye.